I'd like to call the board meeting to order. Will you all please rise and for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody here today. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Ludington. Here. Patrick.
Here.
Bruner.
Here.
Chittick.
Here.
Farnham.
Here.
Lorenzen.
Here.
Voigt.
Here. Next, we need a motion to approve the minutes for November 7th, 2018 regular meeting and November 28th, 2018 regular meeting. Do you have any questions or anything on those minutes? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve them. Phil moves, John seconds. Assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They do carry. Claims against the county. You have those in your possession. Are there questions or clarifications that you need? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims against the county. Dan moves.
Second.
Derek seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. Next item is the county board member claims. Are there any questions on those presentments? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve those presentments.
So moved.
Derek moves.
Second.
Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They do carry. Next, we come to the portion of the meeting where we ask citizens for public comment. We ask that you maintain 5 minutes for those and identify yourself. Are there any public comments this morning? Hearing none, we'll move along. Highway resolution authorizing the county board chairman to sign an agreement between Edgar County and Sims Township for engineering services for the South Salt Fork Homestead Farm Access Project. Did you want to just briefly describe what we're doing here?
The board has twice passed a resolution of support for the highway department and the county to apply for USDA Rural Business Development Grant dollars. Those resolutions of support were used to secure the dollars to get the project. Once secured, the USDA has now asked that you guys formalize our arrangement to provide administration and engineering for that project, and that's what this is. So, again, Sims is the recipient, and the county is helping. So you're formalizing by saying you're authorizing Jeff to sign agreements, and then we will provide administration and engineering for that project. That's what this is, and this was requested by the USDA.
Any further questions or clarification needed, gentlemen? Hearing none, make a motion to approve that. Carl moves.
Second.
Derek seconds. Assume you're ready to vote, Mr. Clerk.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
It is approved. Next resolution is authorizing the county board chairman to sign a contract between Edgar County and Molding Trucking, Inc. to provide material for the South Fork Homestead Access Project. Again, that
Part
goes.
of that same project, we had to procure materials as part of that grant process and procure it in accordance with USDA requirements. We've done such. One of the material suppliers or providers has come in over $30,000. Now that it's done that, I want formal approval from the board to accept and enter into a contract with Molding Trucking for, I
Any-
probably have it in front of you, more than $30,000 worth of stone.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
This was less expensive than what you could do it yourself, right?
Yes, it was.
Yes, John.
Quick question, if this is a Sims Township process, and I'm not
It is.
against it or arguing it, how come we do the contract with, for the stone rather than the township?
Yeah, it's a good question. Again, you guys have provided resolution of support to administer and engineer the project.
Okay,
So as part of that same process, the county board is doing such.
so the check's going through us as part of administration, basically?
No,
Okay.
you are handling the procurement. You're basically standing behind your highway department's administration of this. And in doing such, I don't want to get too long-winded here. We are very versed in procuring and administering, whereas the townships are not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
We're helping the township.
We're
Sure.
helping the township.
Yeah.
It is an interesting question, and it is a little bit of an anomaly because, you know, you have a local agency consultant on that first one. We're actually sitting in the position of a consultant. So the question's a good one. This is a little abnormal. However, I'll say again that everything we're doing is in concert with what the U.S. Department of Agriculture is asking us to do.
Okay.
And in this case, they're saying, you know, make sure you procure legally, and this is the things you have to do to procure legally. We have authorization to procure less than 30,000 without a bid process, and we follow their bid process and have a material supplier that's over 30. So
Okay,
we're in the contract to do so. Sorry.
anything else? Yes, Dan.
No, I just,
You're gonna move? Move the resolution. Is there a second, John?
I'll second.
John seconds. Mr. Clerk?
Luddington.
yes.
Patrick. Brunner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Renzi. Yes.
Does carry, thank you. Next item is the time, or date, time, and locations of the board meetings. Mr. Griffin, you wanna say anything about this?
You should have them in your packet. Both the board meeting dates, study sessions, also the committee assignments. I'm jumping ahead there, but those should all be together. Those have been coordinated with the highway department, the study sessions have. So we did not have to dance around any holidays this year, which was nice. So, looks like same place, same time, different year.
Any questions or issues since you've had a chance to look at it, gentlemen? Take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Derek moves, Carl seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It is taken care of. Please post those in a place where you can see them and learn them, Mr. Brunner.
My wife takes care of that.
Little humor. Okay.
Need a little bit today.
The next item is setting the dates, times, and locations of our study sessions. Again, Augie has told you that those are in your packet. He's worked with the highway department to make sure those are coordinated. Are there any questions or additions to those?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Lud and I like to have the rabies committee changed to animal shelter committee.
That's the next item. Okay.
Need a motion?
Yeah, could we have a motion
So
to
moved.
approve the
Second.
study session? Who moved? I'm sorry.
I did.
Derek, and then Dan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Next is the assignments, and I will note that we're gonna change the name of the rabies to Dog Pound.
What?
Oh, that's right,
Animal
animal shelter, okay. I thought rabies at all.
Right. I hope not, anyway.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Just as we're passing around those contracts, is that something we should post formally, or is that something we'll just kind of ad hoc for the time period we need for the ambulance service area? The
Okay,
contracts there.
I guess I'm missing out on where we're at on that. We're
yeah.
discussing the committee assignments right
Correct.
now. So how does,
So do we need to establish a committee and have those committee assignments therein, or do we need to have that as just a separate one-time?
up to the board?
job?
How do you guys wanna approach that?
Separate,
Make separate.
Separate? Okay. All right. Is that satisfactory with everybody as long as we do it? Okay. Any additions to the current committees or the permanent committee assignments? I'd like a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Derek moves.
Second.
Carl seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And it is carried. Next item is kind of housekeeping, that resolution authorizing chairman to enter in an investment grade audit agreement with Smart Watt Energy, Inc. And we opened, you remember, study session before last, correct, Andy? So this just kind of cleans up that, so I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution. Andy moves, John seconds. Are you ready to vote? Mr. Clerk?
Okay, Luddington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
It is approved. Next item we have up is the resolution of the reappointment of our supervisor of assessment. You all have received that. It's a 4-year term. It talks about how she will operate the office. This will be Nina. The hours, salary review over the next several years, and then reimbursement for transportation costs. I would note, though, that the law provides that the supervisor of assessment can only be removed, I'm not trying to be negative, but just so you'll know, in case I get hit by a truck or something driven by Dan out in front of here, that you need 75% vote. So that means that 6 people have got to be unhappy with the supervisor of assessment. And I would hasten to say that I think everybody has been very pleased with the job that she has done and the staff that she maintains, and so that's why we're offering her another 4-year contract to be appointed as our, not contract, because it is a reappointment. So, motion to approve.
I'll make that.
John moves.
Second.
Derek seconds. Any further comments about our supervisor of assessment? Mr. Clerk? Yes.
How about the board that works with her? Does that come up for reappointment, or how's that work?
She will bring that to our, there's 3 people, and the balance right now, according to how it's operated, is 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat on there right now. And that's based on the most recent election, and it's judged which way it's balanced by who garners the most votes. Okay?
When does that come up for reappointment or whatever?
I can't remember when it is. She brings those to our attention, okay?
Okay. Hadn't been very long since, I think.
Well, we
reappointed.
did do the ag board here not that long ago,
I think we did
which
the ag
John
board.
is on, and a couple other guys from out in the county, so,
I just wondered.
no, that's fine.
It's every 2 years.
Is it every 2 years?
I think so.
Okay, so it'll be coming up here shortly,
Okay,
okay? Good question, then I'll ask Dina.
okay.
Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Luddington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Next is, I think, a housekeeping item, but it's to establish by resolution the number of correctional officers that the board authorizes by budget to have for the sheriff. And currently, we have no resolution. We have 5 correctional officers plus part-timers, and in the budget, we have allowed for 7. This is to support the sheriff and to in recognition of some of the, or not some of, the inspection reports that have suggested to the board that we are not staffing it and the sheriff is not staffing it at the correct level. So this is an acknowledgement of that, and so any questions or discussions with the sheriff or me or yourselves about this issue?
I just have one question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer. We have no date or any sort on this resolution, so anytime down the road that if we decide to change the number, we can just
That is-
have another resolution. and
That
do it.
is correct.
Okay,
This is in effect until another resolution is passed.
okay.
Sheriff, do you have anything to say about this?
All right now.
I entertain a motion then for this resolution to be approved.
So moved.
Derek moves, Andy seconds. Mr. Clerk, when you are ready.
Luddington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Chittick,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Okay, it is approved. Next is the notification that the board has discussed, notifying the Edgar County Special Services Ambulance Inc., Area Ambulance Inc., of the board's intention to renegotiate or bid out ambulance service in the Special Service District area. Yes,
And this, two different things, I mean, one would be notify the one we have now, and then second would be, are we gonna bid it out?
no, they're the same. They have to be within the contract, and the
Okay.
state's attorneys looked at this.
I just asked, it seemed like you're doing two different things with this.
Well, one can't be done without the other. They are connected,
Okay.
okay? Doesn't mean we're not, by sending this letter out, we're not determining whether we're gonna bid or not bid. We're just saying that we're gonna renegotiate and look at this contract, which you
Or
can change
bid it
the
out.
terms, you can change the time, you can change any number of things. This just gives us the ability to talk to Eric and Nicole about how we're gonna move forward with them, or whether we're gonna bid, and et cetera. It may be that we have to make this a one-year contract for a year to have some of the other areas figure out what they're gonna do. It may be 2-year, it may be again a 5-year and be bid or not bid. We're not committing to anything, it's just that we're notifying them as according to contract,
So,
okay?
don't you also have to say we're gonna put this out on bid and allow other services?
No,
Yeah.
That's a separate thing down the
I
road.
see.
that's down the road.
That's an option, but we don't have to.
Okay, all right, good, all right, okay.
Are you
Yeah.
comfortable with that?
Is there gonna be any opportunity where we can discuss this whole situation among ourselves? That's what you were talking about.
Right, we need to form a committee to
Yeah,
talk about the
committee.
contract
Right.
overall. So that's-
Do we need to
that's
form
what
a
we're-
committee or?
Well, let's do this and then talk about that,
Right.
okay?
Okay.
So, a motion to notify them in accordance. Carl moves, Andy seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, now, what about a committee? I think we all agree that there should be a committee.
We had
I'm
one-
gonna disagree on that.
We had the one the last.
Okay,
time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
The
John.
last time.
John?
There's only 7 of us, and this is a short-term issue. If we want to take some time to get together, is having a committee of 3 really gonna speed it up and then go back and forth, or can't we just all handle it as a board?
Gentlemen?
Well, I think there probably needs to be some legwork done.
That's right.
It just doesn't matter herding the cats, right?
Bring it back to the whole
So
board.
getting everybody to sit down together is harder than getting 2 or 3 of us to sit down
The
together.
last time we did this, it was a sticky situation, and then I actually had one committee member resign because of what went on.
One board member.
One board member resigned because of what went on, so.
Right. Well, I just think that will help us. We have a lot to do,
I agree.
is basically my
I
point.
think we need a committee.
Okay, I guess I'm not seeing all the legwork necessary, but that may be.
Yes, well,
Are we in general agreement, or at least the majority of us, that we should have a committee?
It sounds like, that's what it sounds like to me.
Okay.
Whatever's the best way to do
Do you want to have it a committee of the board, or do we want to include anybody from the outside? I'm just asking, guys.
No, I know,
it. I just see the guys right here.
You can point that, but it's not an agenda item.
I know, I understand.
I think we can put a committee together, and then we will probably be inviting several people to meet with committee or study session to help us.
Advisors, committee advisors, if you will.
Right.
Like, we've had several people have already indicated that they would be happy to come before us to offer us information and guidance.
Right, yeah, the
So-
more information, the better. in my
Do we have anybody who would like to be on the committee at this point?
Anybody wants to
Okay, we got one. Derek,
be- Yeah,
have we got anybody else that would like to be on that
Sure.
committee?
There's a couple of us may have some conflict of interest.
Right, I think that's
Not
clear.
a problem.
Well, you're no longer an employee.
Yeah, but I still
He still
volunteer
works,
to
flies.
work there.
he hangs out a lot.
He hangs out.
I'm not sure a volunteer would be a conflict.
Okay, why do, what is that head nod, Carl?
If no one else wants to, I will.
Okay, will it be you or Andy? Which one do you wanna, it doesn't matter to me.
Shoot, more the better.
Not particularly.
Okay.
Do you want 3 or 4 people on the committee?
Carl said he would.
Well, you can't have 4.
You can't have
You can only have 3, I think.
Three
Yeah.
Oh,
of the board members. Or you might as well have the whole room, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, kinda like we do on the budget. We have a committee of the whole. And that's what we do. So far, we've got, Phil, Derek, and then it's up to you two, which one of you wants to do it? Carl?
Yes.
Okay, and Carl. Okay,
Thank you,
I'm
Carl.
appointing, since it's not an agenda item, if we can all ratify it later, but I'm gonna appoint those 3 members as the committee to deal with the contract, ambulance service at L, okay? All right, got a lot of work to do.
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry, don't wanna rush through this. Is there anything else we need to discuss along these lines? I'll get a copy. We have a copy of that letter that's gonna go out. I wanna make sure the guys have got a copy of the letter.
Should be one in your board
Okay,
packet.
all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. So you do have it, and so unless I hear from you, that's the letter we're gonna be sending out, okay? Sheriff's file a sheriff's annual, boy, I'm having a heck of a time today. File sheriff's semi-annual report. Sheriff, do you have anything you wish to comment? I believe you have that in your packet, or not your packet, but shows that you have it. Motion to accept that report.
Second.
Dan moves, Carl seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, next is the county clerk and recorder of deeds. Augie, do you wish to say anything about your report?
I handed them out this morning. There are no significant changes from the previous 6 months. A little better than a year ago for this same time period, but pretty steady, pretty steady. Question?
Motion to accept. Carl moves, Derek seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is, was there a nay vote? Just kidding. All right, it is approved. Okay, next item is resolution authorizing treasurer to establish a line of credit for $95,000 for the county share of projects 4144 and 4559. These are the,
58.
yes, it is 58. It's a Scribner error. Okay, 58. We discussed that. That's a contract coming up for approval here in less than 30 days, and the other one for the April-May approval. So, it didn't make any sense to do 2 different things, we just lumped them together. That is a max figure. It'll probably be hopefully substantially less than that. A motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Derek moves.
Second.
Andy seconds. All those in oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Luddington.
yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is airport related. The Department of Aeronautics of the State of Illinois Department of Transportation has asked us for a concurrence letter for letting the contract to Foyt's Construction Company, or Contractors, Inc., for project number 4144. And we just all thought it best to have a resolution supporting the signature. That's kind of like dotting the i's and crossing the t's. So, is there any question on that issue? Hearing none, I'd accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Derek moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. That is approved. Next item is cancel study session for the 24th, Christmas Eve. Is there any discussion of that? Does anybody disagree? Is there some kind of issue that we need to deal with that would warrant us still having that study session? If not, can I have a motion to cancel the study session for December 24th?
We still get paid for the meeting?
No.
So moved.
Derek moves.
Second.
Dan seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
You don't have to raise your hand.
Okay, it's come to the point where we have department heads. We'll start off. Augie, do you have anything today?
No, just, unless there are questions for me, I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thanks for the candy.
Where
Anytime.
did you steal that? I know you're not gonna buy it.
I got cookies too, if you want to come on in and have some cookies.
He made them last night. Okay, thank you, Aug. Don?
I'm going to hand out the normal, this report you normally get. It basically is not really worth too much because we still have a lot of accruing to do. As a matter of fact, most of the expenses that are showing up for the month to date on this report is payroll. That will all be reassigned to 2017. And there will be other office supplies and stuff, I'm sure, that that'll be accrued because it all happened back in November. So I'm going through the motions here, but don't put too much thought into that report.
There are some major items, though, that are not, will be in next year's. One of them is the insurance payment for December, which is somewhere around 35, 40,000, and then the payment for the tractor out at the airports for next year of 60-some hundred, 6,600. So
Yeah.
there are
some.
there are some for next year.
Now, the accruing does not have any effect on your cash flow report. That's hard physical money in the bank, so it doesn't impact that. So that report is pretty much as is. When you look at the prior month to this month, remember we've had a payroll and an accounts payable and stuff like that, a lot of end of the year expenses. We just haven't had any revenue really coming in. And some of the revenue that is coming in, of course, is going to be accrued into 2017. But anyway, that's why you're probably not seeing a better picture there or whatever as far as what you might hope it was like a year ago. Other than that, I have one final distribution of just back taxes and things like that and interest for the taxing districts. I've had to put it on the back burner just to try to get some of this other stuff done that I need to prioritize. I will be having, I'm just saying this not because I want your compassion, because I know one guy that's not going to give it to me, but I will be having surgery at the end of December on my shoulder. So I will be out of the office from the 26th of December through at least the 2nd of January. So please, if you have any questions, and no, it's outpatient, I hope, so don't come and see me, Coach.
I have a question.
I don't need you
I
in
do
there.
have a question. It's important.
Okay, what
I
is
want to
it?
know if it's your shoulder, why are you limping?
Because I was supposed to have my hip replaced
I'm watching.
and put it off, and I fell. It's just, It's just a poor decision on the personal level. But it does not affect my ability to do my treasurer duties, except for that first week.
He's having brains
I
or.
trust you in my life, Barry. Always have.
And, you know, yeah. Anyway, so, thank you, and are there any questions? Or any smart aleck comments? Alec is not, whatever the word is not the word I wanted to use, but you must be professional.
It's another anatomy part.
Yes,
I've never heard that before.
Well, good luck, Don.
thank you.
All right,
Have mine done, January.
Mr. Engineer.
Don informed me this morning that Needy Township, and we've been talking quite a bit about that the last few weeks. And it was as much or more than we've received in the past, so it looks like, and we've talked to, what is it, Jeff, half a dozen townships or so about getting their levies up to where they need to be to keep getting Needy.
Right.
So, might have dodged a bullet for this season.
Well, we gotta get everybody
And
at
I've
least
heard-
in a position to make a decision that they know what the consequences are.
That's correct, and I think.
We're
they're
not
working on
forcing
that.
them to increase the levy.
That's correct. But that's good news. I consider that good news. I don't know what next year holds, but any questions on what I'm saying? Needy Township's
Is
based
that
on
gonna
that.
hurt getting our point across?
Pardon?
Is that going to hurt getting our point across about needing the levies? We got the
Well,
money in?
I think this is based on 15 levies, 2015 levies. So I think there still could be pain coming. We provided the circular letter that the Department of Transportation provided to us at the end of November, and it was very pointed and clear. And I don't know who on the board, I know Jeff's worked on it, I don't know, I think the rest of you may have, but we have spoken to the townships, and my reaction to how they fielded those comments where they were going to put their levies where they need to be. They're close anyway, they were just, if it wasn't at the max, if it was just even 100th off the max, they would be disqualified from getting Needy Township next year.
So their levy has to be the max
Has to be.
possible to get Needy Township money from the state.
That is correct,
So.
or more.
With that accounting you're talking about, potentially even with, let's say all the townships increase their levy to the max, this year, we could still have a gap year.
Yes, they could base this is the FY19 Needy, when they go to do FY20 Needy, if they do in fact look at 16 instead of 15, and they were below where they need to be, we stand a chance of me telling you this time next year, I've got bad news for 3 or 4 townships, or 5 or 6.
Well, at least the state is doing very clear and obvious accounting, making those, easy choices and not.
I'm pleased that we did get a memo on November 20th and then found out that half our townships lost their Needy.
Right.
I think at least we're gonna have time to rectify the situation. Anyway, that's good news for this season. And I also appreciate the board working with the townships to get where they need to be. And I also appreciate keeping the highway department where we need to be.
Are townships allowed to amend their budgets?
It's not a budget, it's a levy.
I mean, a levy?
And I'll let Augie handle that. Augie, you listening?
Levies are due on the last Tuesday of the month of December. Yep, so that's coming up real soon. As far as an amendment,
Well, okay, as long as they still have time
they
then?
still have time to get it in. And I know past practice has been, if it comes in after that, just, it's a subjective date that has been used, week, 2 weeks. We won't be able to get to the levies until spring. So all of those are going, I got a big stack, they're gonna sit there. So you can read between the lines if you want.
Well, it just burdens me when I hear that the state can basically penalize townships, the fact that the state is so poor in their timeliness and payments, and now they're basically putting it in writing that they're gonna penalize us if, and it just hits me in the wrong spot. So I guess I just hope that we can, really emphasize to the townships more and more, because you've said this for years, if we don't hit our maximums on your levies, it implies that you don't need the money.
That's correct. Well, it's not me, this isn't personal.
I know, but you have mentioned that on,
Jeff's been extremely diligent in making sure that from a county perspective that we're where we need to be.
I know I see the schools, they always hit their, I shouldn't say always, but for the most part, hit their maximums on just about everything.
Right.
Remember, we have had some school districts that have made some errors in their levies, and they've had to correct them by correcting them the following years of levy. So, you know, push come to shove, some things might be able to be taken care of, but for the most part, you shouldn't count on that.
Do we know of the 15 townships, if there's any that are actually not
Yes,
at
we
full
do.
throw?
Yes.
And I thought I provided that to you, I can do it again.
Just what, how many are we short of?
13, I thought you said.
Oh, there's 13 of 15 on CATB, that's been a problem for a good
Only
5 years.
2 of those townships are actually making an effort to stay where they need to be.
Now remember, there's 2, there's CATB, keep them completely separate.
Right.
CATB and nickel, 0.05. And then you have to have that, in order for them to come to you guys and ask for aid, in order for them to use Township Bridge Program money, they need to be at nickel. They've been talking about that for a long time. We only have 2 of 15 there.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm
we've been
saying.
preaching.
Then there's the other fund.
The new news is the road and bridge money, the road and bridge levy, which has to be at 0.165. This is new news. And they are saying, they've been hinting, but they've never come out and put anything in black and white. When Aldi turns in the motor fuel tax certification for levies every May, the Department of Transportation sends the clerk's office a thing and says, tell me, certification, tell me what you're levying. And 3 or 4 years ago, they included, for the first time, what is your CATB levy? They've been asking about road and bridge, but they said, what's your CATB levy? And made us say, well, this isn't normal. What's going on? And so we started pursuing that further and found out that before long, it's gonna have to be a nickel, or we're not gonna let you build a township bridge in Embarrassed without them being at a nickel. 5 or 6 years old. November, a month ago, less than a month ago, comes a circular that says, by the way, as it relates to needy township distribution, any township, we used to prorate when you're less than 0.165. But effective today, the day they sent the alert circular out, anybody that's less than 0.165 is no longer eligible for needy township. And we said, uh-oh.
And we
And
have
of
a
that, there's about
responsibility to get that information out to the townships and magnify that. They may have been also told that, but lots of times, I don't think stuff hits home.
Yes.
And we just need, we're not asking them to max, but they need to know in order to make decisions,
What's gonna happen?
what's gonna happen if they don't. Then they need to decide based on what their citizens' needs are and safety of the township, what the best direction that they need to go.
And so that needy township money comes to us,
Comes to the county highway department in the motor fuel tax account.
right?
For distribution to the townships.
So is this pro rata, or how will that work?
No, it comes in their name. We get a check for 190,000,
And it's broken
194.
down.
and it says this is who gets what.
Okay.
And then we account it, and they get.
So as it stands right now, if they were to pull that, to go through with that next year, we would only have 2 people that would potentially qualify.
No, again, I'm being
For needy
misleading.
township.
There's 2 different funds. CATB,
Mm,
County Aid Township Bridge,
right,
needs to be a nickel. You only have 2 townships.
That's
out of
what he
50.
said.
right.
Well,
That's,
that's a different one. Now, as it relates to.
So the issue is the other one, right?
Is the other one, 6 or so are not at 0.165 and they're road and bridge.
Okay,
Those 6 or so, we have talked to, 2 of us have been pushing on hard, saying you need to make this a priority.
and those 6 are the ones that the circular
Those
pertains
6
to.
are the ones that stand to not get it. If they don't, they may not get it anyway, but we're saying at the very minimum, get
Based
this
on that
year.
gap accounting. Right.
Right, and to give you perspective, just as general, it's based on need, and it goes through a formula, just to give you perspective, generally speaking, that needy township distribution is about the same amount as what they tax their entire township on. Just in general, it's not a, so if they get $15,000 a year from the township in road and bridge levy, they generally get about $15,000 a year in township MFT dollars through the needy distribution, so it's a substantial amount of money. It's half their budget, it's half their road budget, generally speaking, generally.
So outside of actually us just sending that circular down to the various townships, have we done anything else as far as follow through there?
No, we've actually talked to
Talk to
them. I tried to make the entire board aware, the chairman got very engaged. I talked to the clerk, and he said, you know, I'll do everything I can. And I physically have called each of the 6 that are in danger and spoke to a person who assured me that they would work on it.
Okay.
That's, would the board want me to do any more than that?
What's the process they go
You can do-
through? I mean, in other words, they come approach.
Well, I talked to their attorney, and there's a lot of, each one does it differently, but
Okay.
Most of the time, the attorneys do their levies,
Okay.
okay?
I talked to supervisors, I talked to treasurers, I talked to road commissioners. And my take on it is they discuss it collectively.
My concern here, and I don't know whether there's an answer to this, but it's very hard to hit a max unless you're overextending, okay? In other
Yes, I don't
words,
understand all that part.
but I mean, how close, I mean, if
They're all
you are
close.
1/100th of a point off, or is that not
The
making?
way it reads. the way
Okay,
it
well, I
reads.
wondered if they were applying that.
It also reads that if you ask for the max and don't receive the max, you are eligible.
Okay, that's what I'm asking,
Yes.
okay, that answered
That
my
is in black and
question.
white. That is in
Okay.
black and white.
Then that's, that's good, because it's very difficult, guys, to project, you gotta project what the equalized assessed value is gonna be, you gotta, I mean, all those things, and you can't ask technically for 1/6 or 05, you've gotta ask for dollar amount, which makes it more difficult, but you can show that you're planning the 1/6 or the 05.
That is addressed in the circular that Richard written.
Great.
And anyone
That's
that
excellent.
didn't get that, I wanna think I emailed that out, but
I got it.
Augie, you know, cause I always copy you when I start going to the board.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Might look closely at it, you'll find that information in there. And then also there should be a
Sometimes I
spreadsheet.
don't read all
I
the
understand,
emails.
I understand.
I confess.
No.
You got me.
Carl, did you get the email?
Jesus. Thank you, Mr. Engineer.
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Eric, have anything?
I got one.
Oh,
one thing.
please, I'm
No,
sorry.
don't take it out on me, because Don made it this morning.
I know, Monday I brought up about the signs.
Yes.
Oh,
road
yes.
Marker signs, 911 signs that were down. I checked yesterday and they are all back up.
Wow, that was a quick
That's
turn.
amazing.
Good job.
The elves were busy at night.
Man, what time did you go?
Run out of the room.
Well, what can I say?
So.
I was seeking excuses. Like, okay, what can I say?
Well, in all fairness, in that neighborhood, it'd be silly to put them back up until the combines are.
So noted.
Down the
They're
road.
done.
The signs are up.
Not only do I thank you, but the people in the neighborhood thank you, because like, as I explained the other day, you know, without the signs there, it makes it more difficult for the emergency services, you know, if they get called. You know, it just slows the process, potentially the process of getting to these residences, so it is important that we get those signs up.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. I'll pass that along. And we are working with the sheriff's department. We had a little reorganization, and I think that we're working very well with the sheriff's department, I feel. We reorganized, we shifted people around a little bit out there. Generally speaking, Jeff's like, well, who do I call, you know? We have night shifts and day shifts, especially this time of year, so.
Right.
Okay.
But I also, you know, I noticed Gary wrote some stuff down the other day, I don't know whether you're recording it, but, you know, for the public, you know, if there are road marker signs down, they need to notify the county highway, because it, you know, can assist getting emergency services to the residents when they need it. And also, along that line, that these green signs that are at everybody's mailboxes, most of them are mailboxes, if they've got some that are missing or damaged, they need to call the 911 coordinator, and I think it's free of charge. Those signs will be provided to them, because it just helps with emergency services finding your locations, and it's for your benefit.
Seconds matter.
In some cases it does.
Thank you, Carl. Eric,
Nothing. Just-
nothing?
We'll be glad to meet with them and discuss whatever they wanna know.
We appreciate that.
And
Tom?
we got 911 board meeting next week. It's Monday.
Right.
Okay.
The annual meeting.
Our annual meeting is at 4:30 at the fire training.
Okay. Thank you. Tom?
Nothing to report.
Hi, Janet.
Hi.
Anything?
No, not really. Health department's extremely busy, but it's kind of standard for the course everyone. Very busy, doing good things.
A lot of flu shots, I bet.
A lot of flu shots have gone out.
You still can get those?
Yes.
Do you have to make an appointment or just walk in?
Just walk in.
Okay.
How is the flu doing in this area? Is it,
We haven't had any reporting of any huge outbreaks in the area. That's always good.
can they get pneumonia shots down there?
Yes.
Okay.
We also have an.
What about shingles?
No.
That's expensive.
Shingles vaccine is, let's say, too expensive for the health department to be able to stock. Now, what we have done for people in the past is the doctor has ordered the vaccine, they can pick it up at the pharmacy, we can actually give it to them, but that's all we can do with shingles.
That's good to know.
I asked you about the heating, you wanna make comment on that? Remember you had a problem?
It's, right now, it's a little better because the bill's back down to what its normal high self is. But it is back to half of what it was for about 3 months in a row. Sycamore is working on getting some information for us on, things to do the building. They asked me for the contact information, and I did talk to Augie, for the, energy, people that the county has hired, so they can actually, because Sycamore is extremely familiar with our building, they've been there enough times, they know the ins and outs, and they said, you know, if they talk with the energy, company, that they might be able to actually help each other out, so.
Andy, did they monitor the heating at the?
They did come up, they put
She didn't
monitors
know.
out
If they did, I didn't know they
She
did.
didn't know.
I think they did, because they pulled a bunch
from here.
last week
Yeah.
here.
That was gone.
And they said they'd already pulled the ones from out there, and then
She
they
didn't
took
notice the
two
one.
up another service.
I didn't even know they were there and did it.
I think they said they'd been there.
I got an email from Lori this
They
morning.
just,
Well-
when they took them out of here, they put them.
When they were initially here, I remember him saying that they were down there and that some of the body from Sycamore Engineering was there, and they talked to him and gave him some helpful information.
Great.
So I know they were down there
Okay.
to assess that.
Yeah, it's great if they're working together.
So you had several months of extremely high bills, is that what you're saying?
We have I'm going to use the term valve because I am obviously not very mechanically inclined. But there were issues with valves, and Sycamore said, you know, it's the first one to go, but they're all going to eventually go. But it was causing, because it was sticking, more or less, the heat, cool, which is year-round for us, the system, it heats and cools year-round. It was never shutting off. So our bill, which is usually around $2,000 a month, jumped to about $4,000 a month.
Oh,
And that happened went on for about 3 months before everything finally got figured out, and they figured out what was going on and were able to change that valve. But I forget how many valves they said that we have. That's part of the quote they're working on for us, to replace all of them.
Like a Fetzer valve, it's very little ball bearings, get that taken care of.
Do you remember them saying anything about a pneumatic system? You don't remember that?
I know when they put our new heat AC thing in.
Yeah.
That he told me then that the thermostats they were putting in the rooms, like, I think that was part of it. They're, like, the staff can't actually adjust those thermostats. It's supposed to all be controlled and basically with no one being able to.
They didn't change the whole system, they left some on the outside part, that may be another problem too. That was.
It's part of, the old system was, they called it, it's a pneumatic system. You actually got an air compressor down there that runs while those old rubber tubes get cracked.
And it's really it's kind of a nightmare. It was great at the time, it was in the 50s when they put those systems in, but now they're trying to go to actually a computer electric monitored system, and it's hard to replace those old pneumatic systems with the new. It's expensive and there's a lot involved with doing that. So I think that's probably what they're trying to do.
Okay. Thank you, Jenna. Angie?
I don't have anything to report today. Everything's going good.
Okay.
We'd like to thank her for the meal last week.
Oh, yeah.
Really good, excellent.
I'd like to thank everybody for, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be here. For those that were, I hear it was very, very nice, the Christmas party on Friday. Meal.
Christmas party?
Oh,
I thought it was this Friday.
sorry, Carl.
I ate one for you.
I'll take you out to lunch Friday if you need something.
You
Carl.
missed a lot of food.
Hmm.
It was good. Yes, Bud had 3 plates, I think.
No, I didn't.
They didn't have prime rib?
No.
I could have gone all day without saying.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you have anything, sir?
I have nothing for the jail, however, I have become quite adept in courthouse maintenance the last couple of months. Maybe I can help Janet out.
Okay. I guess that's it for that. Committee reports, do we have any committee reports?
Talked to her about the animal shelter, or rabies shelter.
Did you have anything today? Yeah, the dog pound.
I got an email I got a couple of them. I got an email from SmartWatt this morning. They said last week they redeployed a half dozen temporary humidity loggers in the courthouse, and they're more than 50% complete on data collection for all the buildings. So they intend to meet with us in early January and give us some suggestions on what they could take all those in, and I guess they plug them into a computer and figure out what those monitors are indicating to them. They did say they've engaged with Sycamore Engineering at the health department, and there's several updates, improvements the system needs, and they'll in January they'll be giving us a lot of what their suggestions are as far as courthouse heating and cooling, the health, a lot of fixes to the health department. So I'll be getting information from them 1st of mid-January.
Will that be meeting with the Buildings and Grounds Committee, I assume? Do we need to set up a public meeting to exchange with them? Or
Buildings and grounds initially, and then we will present to the board, probably the first study session after he meets with us, what the findings are. Don't you think that's sufficient?
Now, this conversation is not the toggle session they refer to,
No.
or is it?
50% check-in, toggle session, 95% check-in, anticipated mid-February.
So it's just
It's just an update in January, and then the toggle session in February.
Yeah.
I mean, you could meet with them and pass it on, or we can get the Buildings and Grounds and meet with them. It's just a matter of making sure we,
Everybody,
got
knows
a
what's
public
going on.
meeting if we're all meeting here. And I
Right.
don't really know if it matters which way we go.
Okay.
that's the other thing.
This stuff that you,
Oh, elevator. Yeah, I had contacted someone with the company, and I'm gonna meet with them next week. He asked if we had an architectural firm that's looking at it, and I said no. I said I'd like to get some suggestions on someone. I mean, I don't wanna hire someone out of Chicago unless that's as close as you can get. I'd prefer to get someone that you're not paying to drive all the way down, drive all the way back. Architectural fees, so he said he wants to meet with me next week. They're doing a lot of work out at the hospital, I guess. He said he'd like to meet with me next week and look and see what we've got going on, then he'll be able to more effectively send us to who he thinks would be best to engineer the system for the courthouse, or what we need to do here. So we'd like to have an idea what he's up against first before he makes any suggestions as far as an architectural firm that would look at it. So,
Was this the guy that was talking about potential refits for our current elevator? You know,
no, that's another guy.
Party line vice actual, you know, reality.
That's actually one of the guys that kind of turned me on to this company to come look at as far as redoing the elevator, what that part of it would cost, but the other guy.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that an elevator specific person would basically tell us what it would cost to fix our current.
Fix the current one.
And it would be more of an architectural / engineer question as far as.
To build a shaft, if it's possible to build a shaft elsewhere, and then get the elevator company to come in and put it in.
So, well, yeah, so at least we'd find out what it would cost to refit our current and what a new guts of an elevator starting from scratch would look like.
Yep.
When was our elevator put in here?
Late sixties, early
They
seventies.
say the ones in the hospital put it about the same time. It would be the same company that could service it, because they come out there once in a while to work on ours. I don't know who it is. You can maybe could call that or ask. But they were put in about the same time, should have been. They do, somebody does come in and work on them, because they've been down on, you see people down on the shaft working on it. So maybe call that company and find out who it is. Just an idea.
Phil, do you have anything?
No.
John?
Nothing.
Carl?
No.
Eric?
We kind of discussed my stuff already, so.
Okay. Why don't we, is there any other business to come before the regular meeting at this point? Do you guys want to have a closed session on personnel just to be caught up to date on where we're at on another issue?
Take a brief one.
Yeah, just a brief one, have the sheriff be here so he can tell us what's going on. I need a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel. Yes, Andy? Carl seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay? Okay. We will be going into exec session for personnel here in a couple minutes. Thank you.
We're back in, sir.
We only work 2 days.
Okay, is there anything else to come before the meeting today? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Derek, Phil, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.